1965 marked the beginning of a new creative venture for Vincent, as he and wife Mary co-authored a new cookbook entitled A Treasury of Great Recipes. Sears Roebuck Corporation, thrilled with the success of the Vincent Price Fine Art program, approached Vincent about doing a cookbook. He worked together with Mary to create a cookbook that would become a bestseller. The book features a collection of recipes gathered during the couple's extensive worldwide travels, along with personal anecdotes, photos, and stories from the Prices. It drew rave reviews, remained a fan favorite for years, and was, in fact, reprinted in 2015 by their daughter Victoria in a 50th anniversary edition. It was a project of which the Prices were very proud and presented a wonderful opportunity for Vincent to work alongside his wife. January of 1965 found Price back on the big screen in yet another Roger Corman production in The Tomb of Ligeia. The film opens on a funeral procession as a man named Verdan Fell, played by Vincent Price, is burying his wife Ligeia, played by Elizabeth Shepard. During the service, a black cat jumps onto the coffin and Ligeia's eyes briefly open. Fell explains this away as a nervous contraction, and they continue burying her.
A nervous contraction. Nothing more.
We jump forward months later, where a fox hunt is underway by a group of aristocrats. One of the members of the group, Lady Rowena, also played by Elizabeth Shepard, wanders onto Fell's property, where she is thrown from her horse near Ligeia's grave. Fell carries her inside to recuperate. Fell wears a pair of dark glasses, and it is revealed that he suffers from a severe sensitivity to light. Rowena becomes intrigued with the distant and enigmatic Fell. She finds reasons to visit Fell over the coming days, and the two fall in love. Despite warnings from her family, she marries Fell and moves into the abbey with he and his servants. The marriage is not the happy one she expected, however, as Fell disappears for hours on end and she sleeps and often eats alone.
I sleep alone. I eat alone.
Price is obsessed with his former wife Ligeia and offers no explanation for his increasingly odd behavior. Rowena becomes more and more distraught and begins to suspect that perhaps Ligeia isn't dead after all. Her former boyfriend Christopher, played by John Westbrook, agrees with her suspicions and digs up Ligeia's coffin with the aid of two hired hands, wherein he finds a wax figure. Meanwhile, Rowena wanders the abbey alone, where she finds a secret passageway leading to a hidden chamber and the secret to Fell's odd behavior. The Tomb of Ligeia was directed by Roger Corman for AIP, and this is the last of his Poe series of films, although it would be far from the last Poe-based project that Price would make. As with the previous film, The Mask of the Red Death, this film was shot in England. The screenplay was written by Robert Towne and based on the story Ligeia by Edgar Allan Poe. A black cat is a recurring element that pops up in several of Corman's Poe pictures. In this film, the black cat plays a prominent part, appearing time and again throughout the film to torture and attack Rowena as though it were the physical manifestation of the late Ligeia. Verdan Fell's light sensitivity is reminiscent of an earlier Corman picture, as well as Price's character in House of Usher suffered from both light and sound sensitivity. The wax figure unearthed in the coffin is a nice homage to Price's best-known horror film, House of Wax, especially when it catches on fire and burns. The set design and costumes are all top-notch in this period piece, which makes effective use of real-life settings and English countryside. It all works together to create an effective gothic romance and fitting finale to the successful series of Poe films from director Roger Corman. Price excelled at playing the tortured, sensitive artist and turns in a brooding, melancholy performance in this one. Next up, Price will be reunited with director Jacques Tourneur in yet another film based on the works of Edgar Allan Poe, War Gods of the Deep.
I think not.
Oh, I do enjoy an evening with a little light entertainment. But when your video heads get dirty, you lose your picture. Not a pretty sight. Happily, this new Polaroid video cassette will help you. It actually cleans your heads as it plays, so dirty heads needn't haunt you. New Polaroid video cassettes. Get the picture?